I'm from Perth, Western Australia. I was born there a little over 70 years ago. In fact, I was born the week before the beginning of the Second World War. For as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a priest. This was something which certainly was fostered more particularly by my mother, I think, but my father was in agreement with this. I didn't know many priests. I'm a Jesuit, but I didn't go to a Jesuit school. My sense of who priests were and what they did was, to a large extent, that of knowing a few parish priests. And I just assumed that if I were accepted and eventually ordained, I would be a parish priest somewhere in Western Australia. The nearest word to one which will fit the bill will be celebrate. Now, certainly the more or less technical word in Catholicism for the priest at Mass is that he is the celebrant or the principal celebrant. And that is very, very precious to me indeed. But the term itself, as far as I'm concerned, covers all of the sacraments. One is celebrating people's introduction into both the world and the church at baptism, and at the other end of the process, one is, please God, celebrating people's entree into heaven, or being well on the way there at the last anointing, and in between the other sacraments fit in that way. But I suppose partly because most of my adult life has been in a secular milieu, in other words, teaching and writing at the University of Melbourne. I was exposed to some leading Catholic laymen early in that piece. For me, the one who became a dear friend but was also a mentor was the poet Vincent Buckley. And Buckley, for him, celebration, at least at one stage of his life, was a kind of a magical term which encompassed trying to do whatever good one could in the world, and doing this with love and gratitude. I regard all of the teaching that I've tried to do and all of the writing that I've tried to do as acts of celebration, either directly of God's action in the world or implicitly of God's action in the world. So that's, if that's not my main role as a priest, I've been very deeply mistaken most of my life. A traditional way of characterising the challenges to us are the world, the flesh and the devil. They all live within us. I know flesh can be a misleading expression, because I think it doesn't just mean things to do with sexuality, but it means the proneness to go too easily with one's own flow, finding excellent reasons for staying as one is rather than being changed, whereas the whole of Christianity is about unending change this side of the grave. But especially if one's had a lengthy education, as I've had, you can become very expert indeed about politely seeing off invitations to change and change for the better. I have been very, very abundantly blessed in my own life. Sometimes it's in respect of the thoroughly identifiable practices of a priest, sacramental ones and ones of counselling and ones of proclaiming the gospel in other ways. But I've also been I've been richly rewarded within the apostolic milieu, namely the university, and also I'm an almost neurotically obsessed writer of various things, and I've never been short of things to write or of publishers for the writing. And as I implied before, that's intertwined with my sense of myself as a priest, because that too is a way of preaching the word. I've got cancer, which will probably kill me within about a year or so. I'm not looking forward to dying. I am, however, a very thoroughgoing believer in heaven, and I'm a very thorough believer in tokens of heaven which are on earth. I'm looking to see their fulfilment. So it starts as bad news and it ends as good news.